Hi, Dr. Angela here with Garden Talk for Equal Ground Community Gardens in Brantford. This one's going to tackle the dark green leafy vegetables, our power foods, kale, Swiss chard, and spinach. I'll start with kale as our absolutely fantastic bone food. Great for the bones. Really, really great for the bones. It's loaded with vitamin K, as are all of these green leafy vegetables and cabbage, by the way. And so if you're on blood thinners, what you might have been told by your medical doctor is that you want to be very careful about how much kale, Swiss chard, spinach, and cabbage you're going to be eating, and a few other foods as well, at one time. You don't want to be having big increases with your dark green leafies and then bringing those doses down. You want to be having very consistent servings of your dark green leafies, the ones that are high in vitamin K, because you don't want to be messing with your blood thinner medication. You want to keep things nice and consistent. The thing about the kale is that they make great kale chips, which are fairly easy to make, I'm told. I have to confess I've never made them. They are made in the oven. Kale is really great in eggs. I like eggs as it is. Kale makes eggs even better. And I never thought that I would ever say that, but it actually does. Give it a try. Add a little bit of olive oil and salt, or butter and salt, or whatever you're into, coconut oil and salt. You want to steam your dark green leafies lightly, just a few drops of water in the pan. You don't want to steam, you don't want to stir fry them dry, but you don't want a whole lot of water because that'll actually steal the flavor out of those dark green leafies. You also want to make sure that you pick your dark green leafies when they're small. The bigger those leaves get, the meatier they get, but the harder to digest and the harder to chew they get. And they're also more bitter. They have more flavor and sweetness to them when they're young. And what I noticed going through the community gardens last year was that there was a lot of dark green leafies that grew extremely well in our gardens, but that they weren't being picked quickly enough, and so they were getting too big, even for my juicer. So keep an eye on them, pick them a lot. You'll get a lot out of those plants. You'll get a lot of nutrients. Swiss chard can be cut into small pieces or actually torn into ribbons, and they add quite a bit of beauty to whatever meal you're having. They're these dark, deep green leaves, and they have these really nice colorful stems, and each stem is a slightly different color. They're very highly revered, actually, in ancient Greece. Aristotle has been credited to have written about it, which is a big deal. It's a big deal that Aristotle wrote about Swiss chard. It really shows how well respected that plant actually was in ancient Greek times. Spinach, which by the way freezes very well, especially if it's chopped first. Spinach, I think, is Popeye is the best representation of what spinach can do, and he used to open up his can of spinach and he would eat it and he'd get big muscles and he'd go and save his girlfriend, who was named Olive Oil, which is really cute because spinach and olive oil actually do go well together, both from a health perspective and from a taste perspective. Give it a try. Again, pick those leaves when they're small. Don't let those go to flower until maybe later in the summer so you get more out of those, but definitely do let those go to flower because we want those seeds to be produced eventually. I hope you enjoy.